This um something that I want to talk about been on my mind. Uh, this Mayweather lifestyle. I actually don't think it's a good role model for uh talented prospects, talented fighters coming up in the game, talented amateurs. Jay Leon, for an example of this is what Jay Leon said. Jay Leon said he got comfortable. He was making a lot of money. Jay Leon making a lot of money, y'all. Come on. Really? That right there just shows me the pampering of Floyd Mayweather. It's hurting these fighters, man. And I don't like it. He's pampered Jay Leon, y'all. And that's what I see when I see TMT fighters. I see a bunch of pampered ass fighters that, you know, Floyd pampering these guys up, softening them up. I mean, I could be wrong, but hey, Jay Leon said it himself. So it looks like Floyd getting these guys, man. They ain't even did shit. He taking them, showing them this lifestyle and all this shit. Which I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like he's pampering these guys a little too much, overpaying them, and the work ethic of these dudes today is different. I think it's different than back in the day. I think back in the day was a little bit more rougher. You didn't have all these technology advances as you do now. And a lot of times I think the love and worth ethic may not be there for a lot of these guys. I think it's there. I think certain guys can have all that pampering and still be great. Take for instance, Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry had a dad that was in the NBA, and they were pretty well financially stable, and so you would think what's driving him, he's pretty much already got everything. Well, Stephen Curry might not be a good example. I don't know because hmm because Dale Curry made money, but he didn't really make big money like that. So it's kind of like they lived like a high middle class life. I wouldn't say Stephen Curry was pampered. It came from it also comes from the parents, the stability of the parents and what they instill in the kids. So that's probably why Stephen Curry still works as hard as he does today. But Stephen Curry and his brother also had a goal. They wanted to be in the NBA. I don't think they got pampered like what was Floyd doing to these guys that don't really deserve to be pampered. I think it's a difference. Anyway, I'm scared for the fighters outside looking in. I'm just judging from the outside looking in. I'm not in the inside, so but from what I see, maybe it's best for them to stay away from Floyd. I don't know. I'm just getting that vibe. I'm just getting that vibe of these guys don't really want to work hard once they get pampered, overpaid by Floyd. It looks like they stop working hard to me. Now one fighter has stepped his game up. That's Badu Jack. I think Badu Jack's. I don't. You don't start to see Badu Jack in the TMT gym anymore either. I think when he lost that fight, I think he was. in the TMT. I think he probably was in the TMT gym a little too much. I think he probably was getting real comfortable with the TMT lifestyle and being all around in that environment. I think he probably got a little comfortable. I'm not sure, but that's probably what happened. And now Bottle Jack seems to be more focused, uh, and it's showing in the ring. So it may be a thing where you may have to remove yourself from the TMT environment. I'm saying all this because there's this new prospect that I really like, Tank Devontae Davis, Tank Johnson. That guy showed me some real potential, man. Punches are hard, punches are fast, punches are crisp. That guy showing me some real talent. And I looked at his amateur fights. That he's good. He could be the next superstar. He's good. He impressed me more than Errol Spence. He impressed me more than you know, than Keith Thurman. Really, to be honest, I like this guy. This guy looking good. He reminds me of a little young Floyd, but a more powerful puncher. And I just don't want Floyd to ruin this guy. I mean, I just don't want this guy to get comfortable being around Floyd. Floyd done already bought him a damn Jeep and all this, which, I'm not gonna judge, but Floyd done took him and told him told the boy that that's his son. I mean, he telling the world that's his son and all that shit. I just hope being around Floyd don't soften him up. That's all. If being around, if you start getting comfortable, if Floyd starts overpaying you, and because a lot of these guys want to be Adrian, a lot of these guys have that Adrian Broner mentality. They feel like they done made it. When they ain't done shit. They being overpaid. Adrian Broner just was an idiot. Jay Z was gonna overpay him, and that idiot turned that down. But they have that AB mentality where they're just chasing the money. Once they get the money, they get slack. They're doing it for the money, not doing it for the craft, not doing it for the passion, and not doing it for really wanting to be the best. They're just doing it for the check, and they copying that Floyd Mayweather formula. They looking at Floyd and say, you know, but Floyd is a special type of person. I'll be the first to tell you that he can get it. He can have all the money in the world, be pampered, and he's still gonna work hard. And that's what I hope these other guys, but no, do as well. But a lot of these guys don't have that in them. Once they get that pampering, that work ethic stops. They stop working hard, man. I just don't want this to happen to Tank Davis. And I feel like if you guys, if this shit affects you, if the lifestyle of Floyd affects you where it makes you lazy and he got you hanging with him and you start thinking you made it and you don't want to work hard, well, you need to get away. You need to get away from Floyd. You need to go back into some old dusty gym somewhere and get back to focus and get focused again. If that's what you got to do, you know, I'm just saying Floyd is a special person now because he motivates himself. I don't think, you know, I don't think money motivate him, to be honest. I think he loves the money. I think what motivates him is just a desire to be, a desire to win. I think he just want to stay on, be that guy that never loses, stay on top, bragging rights, and I don't think it's for legacy, but being that number one guy, I think that's what motivates him. Being that number one guy, I don't think the money motivates him. I think the money is a great. I think he feels that that's a great asset, to his work, but he has a different mentality, man. He ain't lazy. I mean, that boy gonna work, and that was instilled in him from a young age, and he carried that on, and that's part of his mindset. That's part of his genetics. That's part of who he is as a person. That's his personality. So yeah, he's a different type of guy, and Floyd was blessed to have a father in his life too. A man that was hard on him. You know, a lot of these young guys didn't have a hard father on their ass. Adrian Broner definitely didn't have a hard father on his ass. Adrian Broner's father seems like a weakling to me, you know. That's why Adrian who he is. Adrian don't know who he is. He confused. That just lack of bad. That's bad parenting. It looks like to me. But yeah, and you got this guy Tank Davis who didn't have had troubled parents in his life, and he's not a fan of boxing. Also, that kind of worries me. Also, he's not really a fan of boxing. He's a fan of a few guys, but he's not really a fan. He's like a casual fan of boxing. I would think to be great at something, you got to be a fan of of what you great in, you know, or what you want to be great in. So that worries me right there. He's not really a fan. He don't really watch boxing. That worries me because you know, it just worries me. It makes me think once you get the money, once you get a little bit of money, you're gonna start slacking off. You're not gonna be dedicated. And I don't. I just you know. But I mean, like I said, some of these guys they need to be away. They need to get away from the glitter and glitz and the coaxing. They need to get away from that, the pampering, and they can become better fighters. And it's very rare. It's very rare that people can have all that pampering and still be great because they have that internal drive in them, and money is not going to affect that. So yeah, I just hope that the pampering don't hurt these young TMT fighters coming up. And like I said, if you do, you guys need to get out that gym, man. You guys need to stay away from the Floyd Mayweather lifestyle. You know, go to the hood and train, do or whatever, man. You know, to be great, to make yourself great, so you can have the lifestyle you want, and did it on your own, being your own man. That's what it's about, being your own man, and not being the man next to the man. Peace.